Hey guys, I am talking to Tommy Rowland today, and we are going to be going over all kinds of stuff in the music industry. Stick around. Tommy, what's up, man?
Man, just working like crazy. How about yourself? What's up with you?
Everything's good, man. I am so glad to get you down here finally. We have been Skyping and talking all over the internet together, but finally getting to get you on the podcast is awesome, man.
Man, it's exciting. I'm glad I finally got to come down and see this amazing spot Mobius has set up, man. This place is dope.
Well, thanks, man.
It's no problem.
Thanks.
Nah, no problem at all.
We've been working hard.
The carpets show it, man. I love these carpets. These carpets are amazing.
So you've been we've had, you've had a long journey that I've been able to kind of tag team on and ride on your coattails a little bit, but
Absolutely.
You got all kinds of things going on. Why don't you just kind of give the listeners a breakdown of what you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, my social media recently has really spiked. A lot of interaction from fans, a lot of new listeners, a lot of new fans who avidly swear by my music.
Yeah.
Just in general, like a huge flock of traffic has been coming to me as a musician and an artist, and I think it's just the fact that I've stayed consistent, just really worked hard, put out quality content, put a lot of content, so I think that's pretty much what has done it for the movement and for the numbers and for everything.
And what's so unique about you, because I see a lot of artists, I see a lot of people that have Facebook followings, but your fans truly interact, like they are serious about interacting. I mean, how did you work that out?
I agree. I think that my following is a very cult-like following, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't waste time interacting. Like anyone who reaches out, I do my very best to respond to every single direct message. With that being said, I think with my content, the type of content that I create with my lane of music is a very transparent content. So when I put my life into this music, they know me as a person, and they feel that. That makes them want to reach out. That makes them want to show love, expand.
There was a time where you were interacting with pretty much everybody. I mean, I remember when you were be like 2:30 in the morning, you still up just answering people.
Yeah, well, the way I see it is like, this is kind of with everything in my life, but like it's just like laying bricks. You're laying bricks one at a time with your head down, and by the time me talking to these fans and this interaction was exactly what laying bricks are, and now I'm stepping back and looking back at everybody I've interacted with, and I'm just like, wow, that's a wall of people who avidly support me because I've given them 100% of me since the beginning, So it's just,
do you know how many songs you've written?
How many songs I've written? In my notes, I probably have a little over like 600, but actual songs that I've put out, I would say right now it's probably at about 100 released, but I recently took down a bunch of them or put them on private mode just because, they weren't getting the traffic, and, just that kind of for labels to go look at my name, it just gives them a perception when all the plays are pretty high,
Yeah. No, it makes sense. So when you're just out on the road, because you're full-time traveling, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm pretty much on the road 24/7.
Full-time music. You're not doing anything else.
This is it, man. Blessings. Like this happened a couple months back, and I always had a day job, and I left my day job as of a couple months ago, and so now it's like the real deal. This is what I do. My brand is how I pay my bills, et cetera, et cetera. So
that's awesome, man. So how do you gain? So I know a lot of music, but how do you typically gain, inspiration, write 600 songs? I mean, that's a lot of songs.
It is a lot of songs.
Like, I've written songs in my life, but that's a lot of songs. So.
Yeah. Mine, I think, comes from when I'm feeling like, this is my number one thing that I need to start doing more of is writing them when I'm on the go. Because when I'm driving in the car or I'm in the shower, like I'll come up with some crazy short little pieces of songs that I could put into a song, and people will be like, wow, I need to start taking those down. But outside of that, I'm a very emotionally like up and down person, and I feel like I don't really vent outside of my music. So whenever I feel some type of way, or my emotions are spiking, or I'm feeling like this, or I feel like I can help somebody if I put this out there, that's when I'll actually that's when I'll start writing a song, whether it's how I'm feeling, whether it's I think someone will help me. I think it's just a matter of my emotions coming out in my music, and that's why I'm able to write so many songs.
Do you think that you write better when you're pissed off?
Depending on the song, but yes, absolutely. It gives me fuel, you know, especially when it's like one of those shit talking type of songs where I'm like, I'm better than you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, yes, 100%, you know, like, yeah, 100%.
So it's kind of funny because like everybody has, you know, their individual take on every situation. I mean, that's a given. But what's unique about a lot of your songs is I feel like you don't give people you don't really give people a clear way to not understand exactly what you mean, which is very different than a lot of people.
That's true.
Like you write the whole story, like it's hook, line, sinker. You write it all.
Absolutely.
No room for doubt.
Yeah, I think that's a part of why my craft connects so well with people is because like I don't really leave pieces hanging.
Yeah.
And if it's a storytelling song, I never leave pieces hanging. And it's crazy because when I write those type of songs, it literally just comes to me. Like it's very rare that those, like I've written a lot of songs that I don't even know where the inspiration comes from.
Yeah.
I just picture a scenario and then the rest just hits me when the beat starts. It's crazy how the energy of music works.
Yeah, but you just have this very unique gift that a lot of people don't have in songwriting, where you can just paint pictures with words. I mean, you're very lyrical and you're very articulate. You have I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't know all the words that you use in your songs.
That's good. That's good. I like to call myself a very intelligent being. I like to say that I'm articulate and well-spoken. So I like the fact that some people don't know those words. It's crazy. In high school, I was so bad at English, always. And then I started doing music, and I got good with music. And then I went back for a semester to just see if school was for me.
Yeah.
And I was like the best person in English class. I'm just like, it's crazy how it works. But yeah, that's just a gift that, like, I don't know, I didn't do anything specifically to do that. I think it was just consistency and marrying my craft, you know, doing nothing but this. And when you spend hours and hours each day writing, you're gonna get good at writing. You know, you're gonna look for new words if you're an intelligent person that wants to know more and better ways to express themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so.
No, I fully believe that, and you're such a driven person that a lot of the things that you are able to pull off, I would say very few people are able to pull that off. But I want to try to dig into that a little bit more because, so you are a networking giant. I mean, so give me some ideas of how you get into some of these networking situations that you get into.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of it nowadays comes from the fact that I do have the social presence that I have. I mean, that came with time and persistence and, you know, me just really plugging away to people that I like and I know, you know. So I would say the fact that I've stayed consistent on social media, that's been a huge part of it. But I think more than anything it's my sales personality that I grew up doing sales, from Best Buy to Apple to Verizon to T-Mobile. Like I feel like it's the salesperson in me that brings that forward. I feel like the fact that I have the personality I have, when I do meet people face to face, it makes them want to share energy, share content, you know, do something to forward our relationship. So I feel like that has a huge role to play with it. But outside of that, I mean, it may seem like I'm at this place now with my social media, but I have, you know, like without breath, without sleep, I have searched every hashtag on Instagram and clicked it and then went 1,000 posts down and liked every single one, to the point where they don't allow you to like it anymore. You have to put your phone to sleep and then you have to wait like 10 minutes. I don't know the exact algorithm nowadays, but I have to turn it on, keep going down the feed, liking everything. I go to big social pages that follow me and I'll go into their comments, and because this big name follows me, let's use Gary Vee for instance, because he follows me on Instagram, I go into his content and I like everybody under his photo who's commenting their stuff. Then they see Gary follow me, then they look into my brand, etc., etc. And then slowly I've built this big market, and now I have a big market, so everybody wants to reach out to me, everybody wants to connect with me. Whenever I'm in a city traveling, like I always am, people want to link up and get coffee or buy me dinner just to buy some of my time. Like, it's an amazing thing, this social media thing.
How do you stay so driven in that?
Well, for one, I would say I'll never turn down free food. Like, I gotta be honest. They're like, I want to buy you a meal, let me get 20 minutes. I'm like, dang, 20 minutes of time, I'm getting a meal, of course. No, but I think I stay so driven because I understand that
you're like tenacious and fearless. I mean, you keep putting yourself in these situations where you're meeting some high-end people. I mean, like some big-name people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just I think it's just how hungry I am. I want so much out of this life. I understand that meeting with these people, like I have to meet with the people that I want to be with, and it's just a matter of getting to a level in my life where I can meet those people because of leverage, because of a business, because of my brand reach, so
do you put that on a priority list to just keep meeting people?
100%, because when I share when I share my energy with them, if they're on the same frequency with me and they're like, they're good people or people that I would like to connect with, every single time it's a lifelong connection that will never go away. If indeed we do match energies, or we do, feel like we could benefit each other's brands, so 100%, that's like my top priority in all of this music stuff, because it matters who you meet. It genuinely does.
Yeah. So, give me some tips and tricks on how to do that.
Yeah. My big thing, in general, I would say, reach out. It's a numbers game. You can reach out to 1,000 people. If one says yes, that can be a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
2, I would say, depending what you do, what you're trying to get done, that will change who you're actually trying to reach out to. But for me personally, I reach out to big producers. I reach out to entrepreneurs. I reach out to people who will benefit my career. And like I said, that makes the better chance than if you didn't send any direct message, or didn't send any email, or didn't try to connect in any way.
Yeah.
And for 3, I would say just be in an area that you can actually run across these people, meet these people, meet these people's people, because that's how majority of my connections come in.
Yeah.
I meet somebody who's connected to the person I want to meet just behind closed doors, So I think just being in an area where you can connect with people.
Yeah. So as you're traveling around, you're getting to meet people every stop, right?
Everywhere, man. Every single city I go to, I post on Instagram, I post on Snapchat, any social media that can reach out, and I say, I'm in your city. Who wants to meet up?
Yeah.
Given if I meet up with an average Joe who does nothing in music, cannot benefit my career, already listens to me, I'm still going to meet up with them. If we connect energies, that's a real lifelong supporter. So any chance I get, I connect to a new person face to face. You know what I mean? It's just worth it, No,
it's awesome. And so how do you get it? What's your strategy to get in front of these people and be able to, not feel salesy? You mentioned your sales experience, but what's your strategy to get them to actually meet up with you? I mean, is this something that you just pitch, or are you just trying to meet up? Or
I literally like my pitch on it usually with like Gary V, for instance, with those meetings that I have with these bigger people, it's just a matter of they enjoy what I do, they enjoy my music, they enjoy my craft. If I had nothing to bring to the table or nothing they were interested in, they would not meet up with me. Why waste their time?
Right.
But they like my music, they like my craft, they probably want to see where my head's at mentally and business wise, and see what my plan is to bring my brand further. But I think that's why they meet up with me. But I think just meeting face to face is like that's like the single most thing that has brought me to the next level, is meeting people face to face. Now I have a little bit of leverage due to my social media following, due to quality videos that I've put out there. That stuff plays such a role on when you hit somebody up via DM or Instagram. It doesn't matter how, when they look back on your stuff and they can see, okay, this person's actually about it, they're actually making moves, etc., etc.
So how do you coordinate between all the different platforms that you have? Because you're doing, you're on every single platform that I know of.
Absolutely.
And you're burning up Snapchat.
Absolutely.
So what do you think about Snapchat?
I really like Snap. I enjoy it. I think that like if we're going to talk about like from a business standpoint, I think they need to make changes and quick, because the attention is really shifting to Instagram stories and away from Snapchat. They're doing little things like showing maps, and that's cool, but that's nothing that Instagram can't do and won't do right behind them because of the market share that they already have. So I think that they just need to keep making changes, keep emphasizing. But I personally like Instagram stories more than I like Snapchats. Just because of you can hashtag, you can tag your friends. Snapchat needs to hop on that, terribly bad. They need to be able to tag businesses and brands, because
so Instagram's your favorite?
Instagram's my favorite, hands down. But I understand how crucial having both is, or having any type of story or any, any type of social media is, because there are certain people who are still stuck stuck on that one surface, or don't want to leave it, or don't want to create it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I understand how crucial it is to be well-rounded on all of them, but my favorite's Instagram.
Yeah. How do you keep track of all of them? Like, because, dude, I see you everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, keeping track of them, I think it's just now second nature. Sadly, in the day and age we're in, it's like, I'm going to walk to this location, then I'm going to snap this location, and then I'm going to enjoy myself maybe after I snap. You know, so I think it's just second nature at this point. I think it's when I do something worth documenting, or something my fans would like to see, or, you know, something people should know about, I think that it first goes, bring out the phone, take a snap, do whatever I need to do social media wise that's gonna help me out or reach people or keep me on their mind.
Yeah.
You know.
So right now you on the road. Are you doing shows? You doing how's the show life going? Is that a big part of it right now? Or?
So right now, no. Shows have actually been like very secondary to everything, because I'm at this weird limbo in my career where it's like, this is where you're getting paid big bucks for show. This is nobody cares and they want you to buy onto stages.
Right.
So I'm right in the middle right now. And I'm like, well, I could sell tickets. I could do a small show here, but they wouldn't compensate me for travel and things like that, given it's going to have a good reach. It's going to reach people. But do I really want to waste all the engagement of a week long of promoting the show? Come buy tickets. Please tap the link in my bio when I can have them listen to my music. Like, I'm in that weird limbo. So I'm not focused on shows. I haven't done any shows in a couple. I did one recently and I got one coming up, but those aren't like paid. Those are like my friends are doing shows, so I'm hopping on a set. Right. But until I'm at this part of the limbo where I'm getting paid a good amount of money, or not even, I don't even mean to be making money, but if they need to pay me for my compensation to go to the show at minimum, and also bring 3 of my people and put me in a hotel. Once I get to that point, then I'll start doing shows. You want to bring me to your city? Good. I don't even need a huge compensation. Pay for me while I'm there. I'll be out. You know, it's part of my traveling, and I'll be doing networking in whatever city they fly me out to for sure. You know, so
yeah, I think that's such a smart thing to do. So. We know a lot of musicians, and musicians, for whatever reason, they're willing to take low-paying shows that really hurt their brand.
100%.
And I think it's smart that you've pulled back from, just taking every show that comes along.
100%.
Where there's a lot of guys that will take really anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if they got an open date, they'll take it.
Absolutely.
And I don't agree with that. I'm more in line with you. On not hurting your brand, because if you can't jump that gap that you were talking about,
exactly,
where, you go from making, X amount of dollars, it's kind of on the lower end, to jumping up where you're making real money.
Yes.
So how are you compensating for that? So I know that you have been able to reach out to clothing lines and some other things.
100%. Yeah, I mean, honestly, what I'm focused on in my career, it's not the shows. It is putting out music, but that's just part of building the brand and staying consistent. Yeah. What I've really been focusing on is minimalizing my overhead, making it so I don't have expenses. Let me get my phone bill, my insurance, my car, my rent, everything minimalized, so I then have the financial freedom to be able to travel wherever I want. And a lot of people preach that you can do the same thing if you have a kid and a wife and things like that. There is definitely that hold where you are to be a respected father figure, husband, boyfriend. You do have to still give that person that much time. I'm not there. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have pretty much any ties anywhere. So I'm just minimizing my overhead so I can travel the U.S. and just live my life and not worry about somebody else. So that's what I'm doing. Another thing that keeps my overhead down is how you mentioned how we were talking about the clothing thing. Now that I have this social presence, now that they see, I don't dress like now they can see I can dress. Now they can see I have an image. Now they can see I get quality video and photo content done to me regularly. Every brand I go on, I'll find a brand on Instagram all the time. I did this the other day. I've done this countless times, but I go on a brand's page, blow up their feed with click everything I like, and then I'll shoot them a DM like, listen, I have a pretty good reach. I have an upcoming market. Send me some clothing and I'll rock it in a photo shoot for you. Or video shoot. And they're 9 times out of 10 gonna send me that stuff. They ask for the shipping stuff. Now my whole wardrobe that's all out here on the East Coast, all sent to me. That's it. And given I still rep this brand. Whenever I get something, I'll take a photo of the brand, whoever's brand it is. I'll be like, thank you to them. I'll put it on. I'll rock it for them. Get them, the Instagram shows you how many people click it. I'll get them a minimum of 15 clicks. One conversion is easily worth it for them. They now have a new person rocking their brand, and they have all that exposure. So I think it's just a matter of the power of social media and just maximizing on that. Minimalizing my overhead, getting everything done as cheap as possible and free.
It's smart, man. It's just really smart. So, any other tips or tricks that you're using like that really help to decrease your overhead?
100%. So one big thing, I don't know if this is appealing to if any artists are watching this or any artist will watch this, but one thing I was saying the other day to actually fellow artists from here, don't a lot of people will go out and spend all this money paying for exclusives on beats. They'll pay a stupid arm and a leg for a photo shoot, video shoot, and they're not at that level yet where you need to be doing that. So anybody coming up or any brand coming up, I would say pay the minimum, because you're not going to exceed the rights if you're buying beats from people. Mixing and mastering, you can find some kid coming up who has a really good sound, who has a really good sound, and you can have him mix your stuff. And as far as the actual launch of it, put all that money into promotion, put all that money into reaching people. You know what I mean? There's a million different things that you can do to minimize your expenses and save yourself money and go out and network. You know what I mean? So that's a huge thing. One thing I would also, this is kind of a big thing as well, I want to touch base on it while I'm with you guys. People are always focused on, hey, go buy my new single. What they don't realize about that is that's foolish. That's your one time in 3 months. You're going to see 99 cents if you go through a distributor that takes 0%. Okay. If you have them save the song to the Spotify or Apple Music playlist that they already have, that's a residual income, which is allowing me to travel the whole country, because people are going back to their songs and playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it for years now. I don't have to worry about that 99 cents I collected then. They'll probably play that song at least a couple thousand times in their lifetime. That itself pays over it pays over $2 itself. So, artists, stop telling people to buy your music, put it on the streaming platforms and let them save it to their playlists.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. So you've got YouTube, where you're getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Absolutely.
So tell me all the places that you've gotten views and listens.
Absolutely. So a big part of my recent success and the exposure that I've been getting is a lot of the biggest YouTube channels are now playing my music. Swaggy Tracks, Escape Tracks, who else? There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of big vlogs. Every time I drop a song, they all post it on their channel. That has given me so much exposure, and a lot of people would see it as a short-term gain. The fact that people are allowed to stream your songs on someone else's channel, and you're not getting paid for it. Take that exposure, take off that little thing that tracks down what royalties you're making on YouTube, because they'll stop posting your stuff. And I can promise you, you don't want to make 10 cents as to all the exposure that these YouTube channels can offer you. So take that off your channel. I would say submit to any blogs that you can to get your music out there, along with the huge market of vloggers on YouTube. Right now, vlogging is the thing to do. People, this weird young generation, including my generation, want to watch other people live their lives. It doesn't matter what they're doing. They want to see how the other side is living. And those vloggers, those YouTube channels have millions of subscribers. So one thing that I've had great success with is luckily it just happened organically with me. I didn't even really submit, but send your music to these vloggers and say, use it as much as you want. Just mention me in the description. All that exposure is worlds better. And then chances are they're not going to watch that video just to hear a snippet of your song. They're going to go on your Spotify. They're going to go on your Apple Music, and they're going to save it. And there is your income, and there is your brand building itself. So
are you constantly giving them new content, or are you just picking one song and trying to get that out as many places as possible?
That's a good question. I would say I put out pretty much. I'm actually gonna kind of rethink my game plan a little bit in the near future, just to see if I can bring more gains sooner.
Yeah.
But what I do is I put out pretty much a song a week, and I let that organically reach the people. So I don't promote it for the first day usually, and then after it organically reaches the people who love me and have my notifications enabled, and they're playing it and saving it, I'll then start posting it on my Instagram and my social media, because that's a whole new wave, and chances are that wave of promotion is gonna convince those avid fans who already played it to go back and play it again. So I would just say, the promotion on promotion, and when my drops happen, it's a drop a week, so I don't push one song specifically to vlogs. I post I just pretty much send every drop I have to these vloggers, like, listen, this might be dope for your vlog. Every single boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Consistency. That's pretty much it.
So how long do you let that ride before you start going back and pulling old songs that you've done back up to the top? Because one of the things that I've seen a lot of artists do, it's like they put out something, let's say it's 2000, it's 2017 right now, but let's say they did a song in 2015.
Yeah.
It's still a good song.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will say, well, it's old content, so I don't want to keep putting it out. Do you go back and grab songs from way back and pull them back up to the front?
Personally, no, because my growth is very consistent, and I can say personally, a lot of my music, I'm very picky with my stuff. I don't even like my old music. Like the old music, I understand why I did it, and I understand that it was therapeutic at the time, and a lot of people still like it. But a lot of my old stuff I don't like, so I would never bring it back to the surface unless it's a song that I'm very passionate about, or it's a song that I do a visual for. Because if it's a visual, then I will bring songs from the past and put it up, because I never got around to the visual, and I was very passionate about the song at the time. So that's the only time I'll recycle content. But for someone who's not growing as rapidly, or someone who can't see the growth from a year ago, which should be nobody, but it is, they can bring that song back out and roll it out. It doesn't hurt, but I personally would never do that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I always wonder why. A lot of artists are like that. I always wonder why, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes artists get too personally devoted in what's happening right now, whereas think about like TV, for example. People watch reruns every single day.
That's true.
And for some reason, artists, they just hate bringing back that content. And my question to you is, if you worked so hard on it and you were passionate about it in that point in time, why not give somebody else the opportunity that might be in that position now to hear it again? You know what I mean?
That's true. I guess I've just never taken it in consideration.
Think about how much money and time and effort you put into making that song originally, and just giving somebody else the opportunity that might be in that spot. You already walked that road. But now they're in that spot today. Song might connect.
That's true. And to be honest with you, the only thing that's appealing to that, to me, out of those four things you said, is the fact that it might help somebody through what they're going through now.
Isn't that why you write most of your stuff anyway?
That part is definitely something that I see almost being, it would be worth it to bring it back out on something like that. I just feel like, that reach, that like the people I'm going to reach with my new content don't love me for my old content. That's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm so busy dropping new content, a song a week. When do I really, if I want to lightly lay a song a week on these people, when do I really have time to bring an old song back into structure? You know what I'm saying? I'm so busy flooding these people because I want, when my 100,000 followers is here, I want them to be able to go on my catalog and listen to it all for days and days and days of music. But I'm so busy flooding them with new content that I feel like there's not really an appropriate way to throw an old record out. I just feel like since I flood so much, I think they would enjoy a break from me shoving music down their throat. Like, listen, I'm dropping a song now. Let me promote this for 6 days. On the 7th day, I'm going to promote an old song before I start promoting another song. Just like, I feel like, it's kind of like, it's trying to be too much of a sales guy. I feel like it's, if I were to drop old songs with my new ones. But if I were to slow down my flow, then I could see myself doing that. But there's not any content that's old that I feel enough, or I feel is up to par with my new stuff, that I would roll back out.
So that's it right there. So it's that artistic brain. So what's funny about that is, our videographer here, Matt,
Yeah.
he can make these commercials that are just incredible, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely
awesome, right? Makes videos, done some of your videos.
He's amazing.
And it's so crazy to me that, because I can't make videos. It's not in my wheelhouse, right? But I'll see something that he creates, and I'm in awe of it. I'm like, how the hell did he pull this off? And he's like, it's all right,
True.
And then he doesn't want to go back and once it's done, it's like he did it. It's out. It's in the past.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's really the artistic brain. So speaking of that, how do you, because you've built a full business off of this, so how do you get away from your artistic brain and go to your business brain, and then flip back so that you can keep creating content, and flip back so that, how do you manage those two different, very, very different pieces of business?
Absolutely. I feel like just the person that I am, I feel like it kind of goes, I feel like the salesperson in me and the artistic person in me never really leave. I feel like they're always there, given I feel like neither of them ever sleep. In the end of the day, I do my art when I do my art, and when I need to talk business, I can go business. When I need to think sales, I can think sales. When I look at when I need to look at trends and formulate what's going to be my income in a couple months, I can do that. But I feel like during that whole time, I could still get creative. So I don't really have to decipher the two. But luckily, with my music and my brand, I put my content out as organic me, and they ended up buying who I am as a person. Yeah. It's not about me switching back between like the business and this. I feel like, honestly, I'm the same person all the time, and I just spill what's on my mental onto a song, and the fans just go crazy for that because it's who I am.
Yeah.
So I feel like, luckily, somewhere down the road in 2008, when I was a little fat kid who couldn't rap, I developed a brand by staying true to myself, and that brand has built just a bunch of listeners that love me for me. And that's why I don't have to go business/art that much, because like, I'm a sales motherfucker in some songs. Like I'm like, listen, I could do this and make this much money, and I'll say that on a song. So I feel like they even buy that part, they're even buying the fact that I'm saying this. So I think they're just like, I really think they're just interested in the brand now. So I'm not an artist who has to switch back and forth like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As to some people are like, they have to have a dedicated business team because they don't know how to talk sales or talk, so I got lucky, I guess.
So, I know you've got a bunch of different talents, but I think one of the best talents that you still have is that you're still willing to learn. Oh. You constantly are going to more people, asking, questions, asking, people that have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, wore that one out, got a new t-shirt.
100.
So still listening is, what do you think about mentors and that? Those kinds of people.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's one thing. That's a huge piece of why I think a lot of artists never succeed, or a lot of creatives, or a lot of humans in general, too prideful, like, I don't want to ask this question, given when my complicated, selfish ass asks you a question, I'm still going to have my brain throwing pieces of like, okay, did they do it right? Did they do it correct? Where are they now? Blah, blah, blah. There's always that in the back of my mind, but I'm very willing and open to listen to people, because I understand I don't have all the life experience a lot of people do. Yeah. I'm still a young kid, but the fact that I go into stuff almost being okay with being naive and being a learner, that's expanded my brand, me as a musician, in so many different ways. I think that a lot of people let that pride get in their way, and it's either like, you pick pride, go ahead, you pick that pride, but you're never going to be at the level you could have been if you listen to this dude who's been where you're at. But with that being said, there's a lot of old heads that are bitter because they never did it the way you're doing it, or they're scared to do certain things that you're doing doing. So they'll talk negativity like you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't. So you really have to have a good judgment in your head and be able to decipher who's actually looking for goodness and who's actually trying to help you and give you informational stuff, who's on your side. You know, you have to be able to decipher that. I'm huge on mentors and people who have been there and done that. I think that's an excellent thing. I can't say outside of like a couple people in my life have I been able to say I had a mentor. I have a lot of people looking out for me, and I think that comes with the fact that they know I'm going to be loyal to them in the long run, and they can see where my long run is going, and they can see what kind of human I am deep down. So I think that mentoring is amazing. I think that it's crucial, but you have to be very judgmental and you have to pick wisely, basically what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah, you just got to go out there and you get people's input, and then you make sound decisions based off of all the information you collected.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Well, it's the time of the show where we're gonna send you some rapid fire questions.
Oh, dang!
And you gotta answer them, as fast as you can.
I'm excited.
All right?
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Humble, ambitious, patient.
What's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
Look at my phone.
What's the biggest regret this far in life?
Not starting music earlier.
What is true success to you?
Simplicity, smiles, family.
What makes you smile?
Life, simplicity, family.
If you were to lose everything tomorrow, who would be the first person you turn to?
My mom.
What would you do differently if you knew no one was judging you?
Nothing.
What or who have you given up on?
That's deep, my brother. My brother.
All right, and lastly, how many cans of Monster do you think it would take you to give you enough energy to get to $1 million?
I would probably overdose after one. But no, I probably 60, 67 or something like that. Like, I'm going to say a weird number like 67 or 53. One of the two.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, Tommy. I do appreciate you coming down here. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad we finally got this.
It's exciting stuff.
My name's Patch with Mobius Media Solutions, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out this episode of our podcast. If you guys like the content that you just saw, would you do us a favor and go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below? It really helps us know that we're making the right kind of content that you guys want to watch and listen to. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you check out the description box below, we have all of our social media links. Make sure to follow us on Facebook. We post a lot of our behind the scenes stuff and advertisements for podcasts that are coming up. So once again, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.